Hello everyone, welcome back to Quiz Whiz. I'm PD Priyadarshan here, your host and your quiz master. So a very warm welcome to anyone. Before we get to the question and answers, let's get on with our daily chat. I think for the day. So the experience which I want to share with you today is the experience of, I think, the very first short film I made. So many of the subscribers might already know I was a child artist. I used to act in the Saas Bahu serials, and I've done a couple of ads, and I've also done a short role in a Hindi movie as well. But this is at a point when I was in 11th standard and when I started developing my interest behind the camera. So, into direction and such things. So that at that time I did not have much technical knowledge. So I was quite out on my own. It was a zero budget short film, camera of a friend and actors also, just trying to get my friends in and all that. So it was a really low budget affair. But the name of the film was Olympician. So basically, the film spoke about how India is ready for the Olympics because this was at the time when the Olympics were about to happen. So, what I portrayed or what actually came to my mind is how a local talent or how our daily activities can relate to something at that level. So, for something as simple as my maid who's sweeping the floor with a broom, so instead I saw my maid do this once actually. So the dustbin was kept at a distance, and she just swooped. There was some paper which was crushed and kept, so she just swooped it, and it fell right into the dustbin. So that really gave me a click of hockey. So that is why I started relating more and more daily life activities to Olympic events. So I thought about tennis. So where you're sitting at home and there are too many mosquitoes, you're using that racket and you're smashing it here and there. So that sort of related me to tennis. And when you play frisbee on the beach, that's like discus throw. So those were the various. I almost covered 6 to 7 different sports which I could relate to daily activities. And in the end, I wanted to give it my own twist. So what I did was the Olympic logo, which are the five circles. So the five circles, I represented them in an Indian way through jalebi. So I went to this jalebi store and I asked him ki, uncle आप जलेबी ये वाले शेप में बना सकते हो क्या? So he was more than ready for the challenge himself, which was really great. Those jalebis were damn tasty, but so he could make the whole logo, and the film is there on YouTube for those of you who are interested in watching. So Olympician Priyadarshan Babu, if you type in anything, you should find it. And that was my first experience as a director, as a filmmaker, and probably that is why I am here today or doing what I am doing today. So this is what I really wanted to share with you. And now it's time to move on to our yesterday's answers. So yesterday's first question: which is the largest distributor of toys in the world? Now I know many of you would have guessed that it's Hasbro or it's Mattel, but surprisingly it is a food chain. Yes, now you've guessed it right. What we're talking about is McDonald's. So the Happy Meal or the toy meal that we order, so the number of toys they distribute and the number of outlets they have in the world makes them the largest distributor of toys in the world. Moving on to our second question for yesterday: who authored the national anthem for Bangladesh? So, a fun fact, I had dropped in a hint when I asked the question. So now you all will understand that actually the answer is Rabindranath Tagore himself. So he has written the national anthem for India and for Bangladesh, and the name of the national anthem for Bangladesh is Amar Sonar Bangla. Okay, so that is what it is. Moving on to our third question for yesterday: what term was derived from the abbreviation used in the army for the general purpose vehicle? So what we are talking about is Jeep. JWP, Jeep, that was the abbreviation that they came up with. And that was our third question for yesterday. Moving on to our fourth question for yesterday. Who is the only batsman to hit a six on the first ball of a test match? So I think many of you would have guessed it. Yes, it is the universe boss. It is the very own Chris Gale, and we're going to get to see him in action very soon once the IPL starts. So I guess we have about 5 days to go. So let's hope for some crazy action then. And these were the questions which I asked you yesterday. Now I think it's time to move on Oh, sorry, we have one question left for yesterday. So, yesterday's last question was, which iconic building is the first in India to have electric lights and have an operational steam elevator, which is functional till today? So, what we're talking about is the Taj Mahal Hotel in Mumbai, which is near Colaba. So, this is what we're talking about. So, those were our 5 questions for yesterday. Here come the 5 questions for you today. So, here's today's first question. Which construction built on sea has steel wires equal to the Earth's circumference? So the number of steel wires used in this construction are the same, which are enough to circumference the whole Earth. Okay, so which construction are we talking about? Moving on to our second question for today. Who was the first to measure the force of gravity between masses in a laboratory? Now, I know when we hear the word gravity, one immediate name comes to our mind that may or may not be the right answer. So think a little deeper. Moving on to our third question for today. Which board game is also known as Moksha Patamu? Moksha Patamu, that's another name for this game. So can you tell me which game I am talking about? And now, for our fourth question for today. Which mathematical sign was invented in 1557 by Welsh mathematician Robert Recorde? So this is our fourth question for today. And now for our fifth question for today. Which is the only bird that can fly backwards? Okay, so which is the only bird? There's only one bird which can fly backwards. So I want you to tell me the name of that. So those were our 5 questions for you today. So I hope you had a great time. I hope you enjoyed it. And for any of the budding filmmakers out there, trust me, no budget, not a problem. No camera, not a problem. Just give it a try. Do what you can do best. And trust me, it will be something which you will remember for a long time. So on this note, I'll take your leave. I will see you all again tomorrow with 5 more answers and 5 more questions. Do not forget to put your answers in the comments below. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for all the love that's been coming my way. So see you till tomorrow. Good night and take care.